It's 100 degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling his tea, spilling and sipping his tea, spilling and sipping his tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your 100 degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your 100 degrees, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea.
What's going on? Hold on. Let me make myself bigger. Y'all know I usually play my intro twice. Hold on. Let's get in here. I want to see if I could do it again. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I ain't been live in a minute. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it alone. We on here. What's up, Diamond Gang? What's up, EJ? What's up, Peanut? I'm happy y'all here. Listen, I haven't been live in a minute, in a good while. And I told you guys the last time I filed an appeal on my monetization. And I wanted to wait until that appeal was finished. However, when I start something, Diamond Gang, I finish it. Okay? So I'm moving forward regardless. You know, that's my decision. So it ain't stopping nothing. But we got a lot of stuff to get into. I haven't been live in a couple, 4 days regarding the war. There is a ceasefire with no expiration date. There will be weekend talks. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Iran is still charging for the tolls for boats to go through. They're still popping them. Trump crashed out on True Social this morning, and then he turned around and fell asleep. But they are sending Kushner and Witkoff to Pakistan. Okay, so we're going to go through the last couple of days, what happened, and y'all know how I do it, and it'll lead all the way up until what's going on right now in real time. So I'm going to bring up my screen, and we're going to get into it. Now, I'm going to start particularly with the ceasefire because the U.S. is saying we won. Iran is saying they won. But I want to ask y'all, is there truly a winner in this? No, because it's still an ongoing war. But both sides are claiming victories. So let's get into this.
Do you think that Iran has won this war? If you were a judge in a boxing match, how would you score it?
The war doesn't seem to be over yet, but
I want y'all to put your opinions on what you think in the chat. Put it in the chat.
So far what we can say is that when you are on the defense side, if you are not defeated, it means that somehow you won. That's
So
the way
bingo. That is how Iran is thinking. Okay? That is how they are thinking.
I describe it, because if we are to judge it based on the initial objectives set by the US and Israel.
Now let's talk about it. We had 3 objectives, okay? The US. Let's get into it.
Like a regime change, taking hold of Iran's highly enriched uranium, destroying its missile capabilities, everything. None of the.
So let me stop there. None of them. We don't have the enriched uranium, the missiles, their stockpile is not gone. There is no regime change. So we didn't accomplish our missions, but believe it or not, Iran has changed their aim. Okay, let's go.
Has happened. So in that sense, Iran is not defeated, but on the other side, and this is interestingly something that Mohammad Ghalibaf, the Speaker of Parliament,
And he's the lead negotiator for Iran currently.
absolutely, he's one of the inner circle of strategic decision making at the moment. He said it the other day on State TV that we haven't defeated the United States, and that is significant, in the Islamic Republic context, when everything has some sort of ideological color, and the way it is presented to the public is that the Islamic Republic is invincible. So maybe
because they have the world globally in a clutch, they feel like they won. Okay, that is their aim. That is their goal, to put enough economic pressure, okay, not just on the US, but globally. Okay,
can say a draw. That would be maybe the best way to describe.
And where we start this is where we're going to finish it. Okay, so they're saying it's a draw between the two.
Come on the air tonight, we have new reporting on how we went from President Trump saying this morning from the White House that he didn't want to extend his own ceasefire with Iran to doing just that this afternoon.
Bingo. Leading all the way up to the last moments, the last seconds, he claimed that he was not going to taco. Okay. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't think he was, but he did. Okay. He claims that he used these moments as a strategy, those threats as a strategy. Okay. That was his strategy for them to give in. Iran said, as long as you guys have your U.S. blockade, we're not coming to the table. Okay, so there was a no-show in Pakistan.
But the deadline for the ceasefire is tomorrow. If it looks like things are progressing, will you not necessarily extend it to a definitive amount of time, but will you let it keep going if there's progress in the talks before taking?
Well, I don't want to do that.
To be clear, you're saying that you need at least the prospects for a signed deal.
Listen, I don't have as many clips as I normally do. I have less, but I put them together to tell a story, okay? And boy, do I have a story for you guys.
Today and tomorrow, or else you would resume bombing Iran.
I expect to be bombing because I think that's a better attitude to go in with. But we're ready to go. I mean, the military is raring to go.
Diamond Gang, please and thank you. Hit the like, okay? Please and thank you. I got 48 in the building. I need y'all to hit the like. I ain't been live in days. I'm trying to pick up my momentum. If you want to support the channel, please hit the like. My Cash App is somewhere in the chat. If you want to support the channel, you can also Cash App me as well. Thank you.
That was the president's sentiment just after 8 a.m. this morning. But by 4 p.m. here in Washington, he had extended that ceasefire, saying, quote, "We have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I've therefore directed our military to continue the blockade." And
let me tell y'all something. It was a mess. They went from Kushner and Witkoff to J.D. Vance was going, to he's not going, to he's going. It was insane.
All other respects remain ready and able and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. Now, that Truth Social post there came after the president had spent the afternoon, I'm told, huddling with his national security team in the West Wing. While that was happening, Air Force Two was sitting on the tarmac at Joint Base Andrews, and the administration was deciding, should the vice president, J.D. Vance, board?
Bingo. They went back and forth, and I told you guys prior to, the Iranians do not trust Witkoff. They do not trust either one of them, okay? They asked for J.D. Vance in the beginning of the negotiations. They said, listen, Kushner and Witkoff, we can't deal with them. In the midst of us negotiating, they decided to bomb us. We want to talk to J.D. Vance. We have seen J.D. Vance the least out of these three. He is not quite on board with this war right now. Now, lately, he's been kind of cutting up. His rhetoric, has amped up a little bit, but he's not been very vocal. So the Iranians was kind of like putting trust into Vance. I believe, my opinion, they pulled back on Vance because when he went the first time, he couldn't make anything happen. Who can? That was only the first round. All right, let's go.
His plane and head to Pakistan for the next round of negotiations with the Iranians, as was he when he was there just a few weeks ago, as you can see here. But today, the administration was dealing with an issue, virtual silence that they were getting from the Iranians. Now, I've learned that in recent days, the United States has sent Iran a list of broad points that they wanted them to agree to in advance of the next round of talks, of J.D. Vance getting on Air Force Two and going back to Islamabad. But days went by without the United States getting a response, raising questions and suspicions about whether or not much could be achieved.
Listen, they were over it. They expressed it publicly. You threaten maybe once or twice, but then 3, 4, 5 times, it's like, nah. They were like, no. Until you guys move that blockade, then we're not going to meet, So they put us in a bind again.
In person. Officials had urged the top mediator from Pakistan to get at least some kind of response from Iran before the vice president boarded his flight. But still, hours later, an official tells me there was nothing. That radio silence is a far cry, though, from the confidence that we had heard coming from President Trump just a few days ago on Iran.
This process should go very quickly, and that most of the points.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, in my opinion, this is far from over, and there is a possibility, in my opinion, that this will escalate. Okay.
Are already negotiated and agreed to.
Now, cut to today, and the president's top aides basically believe one of the biggest reasons they did not hear back from the Iranians on what they wanted to just get these talks started is due to fractures within the current Iranian leadership.
Now, that is what they are saying, because the Ayatollah's son supposedly is injured. He hasn't been seen. They believe that they have fractures. They have nobody that understands truly how to negotiate. That I don't believe. I don't believe that. I don't.
The administration's sense is that the Iranians don't have consensus on their position or know how much to empower the people who are going and negotiating in person on things like uranium enrichment and the current stockpile of enriched uranium. Now, part of that complicating factor, the United States believes, is whether or not the new supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, is giving his subordinates clear directions, or if they're simply having to assess and guess what he wants without specific instruction from him while he's been in hiding.
Now, all of this is based off of assumptions because they don't know. We don't know.
That's something that the president was alluding to in his Truth Social post about extending the ceasefire today. The U.S. believes that Khamenei's efforts to remain hidden have actually disrupted internal Iranian government discussions. Now, as we sit here tonight, the president has extended this ceasefire. There is no end date, as you noticed on that Truth Social post, no new deadline.
Now, these next two pieces, I need y'all to participate. I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to show you what their stockpile is versus our stockpile.
And how long this could go on. Despite our reporting tonight about the concerns about what's happening inside the Iranian government, I am told that U.S. officials do believe there is still a chance that the U.S. and Iranian negotiators could meet again soon. But if and when that happens is far from certain tonight.
So just last week, a senior U.S.
All right, Diamond Gang, we're getting ready to get into us depleting most of our stockpile in what the Iranians have. And I've discussed this a couple of live streams ago, and I kept telling y'all they were at least at 50%.
Intelligence official told Congress that Iran has expanded their war aims. He said they...
Bingo. I told you guys in the beginning of this live stream, they have expanded their aims. Okay, so it's different. It's a lot different from when this war initially started, just like ours. We changed as well.
We've seen the leverage that they have over the Strait of Hormuz, and instead of now just regime survival, they are looking to exact concessions from the United States, which is an important detail as we see the talks didn't really work out. And we've got this indefinite ceasefire now in place. And this is not some...
Please, please, please hit the like for me. Please and thank you. I can't get super chats. I can't get super stickers. I can't get gifts. A like is free. Can you please hit the like? If you like the content and you want to support the channel, my Cash App is somewhere in the chat. I'll pin it. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, it's pinned. Okay, let's go.
Anonymous, unnamed source familiar with the talks. This is coming from Lieutenant General Adams. He is the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. And last week, April 16th, in speaking with the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Intelligence and Special Operations, he said, quote, Tehran almost certainly expanded its wartime objectives beyond securing the regime's survival to include deterring strikes on Iran and extracting U.S. concessions, primarily by exploiting its control of the Strait of Hormuz.
Bingo. The straits, once again, they have us in a chokehold behind the straits. Yeah, they definitely got us in a bind.
He went on to talk about
they know it, and they are becoming even more they're just bold with it now.
Capabilities that Iran still has in their possession. Again, I want to bring it up here because we've seen it from unnamed sources and anonymous leaks, but this is actually coming from the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency.
The head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Okay, so this is not something that I just made up, okay? This is real.
Where he says Iran retains thousands of missiles and one-way attack drones.
Bingo. Thousands of missiles and one-way attack drones. I said this in previous live streams that they were receiving help from Russia.
that can threaten U.S. and partner forces throughout the region, despite degradations to its capabilities from both attrition and expenditure. Now, look, a lot of them have been fired. A lot of them have been destroyed. No doubt. There's no question there. But when we're talking about what does Iran need to do to maintain the pressure on our Gulf partners in the region or the United States or the Strait of Hormuz, it does not take thousands of missiles and drones to.
That part, it don't. It does not take thousands of missiles and drones for them to do whatever type of damage they want. Okay? It don't. But they have it. Their stockpile is, they got a decent stockpile.
Do that. So what General Adams is getting there is if the hostilities kick back up, Iran does still have a pretty significant arsenal to carry out attacks across the region.
So we're going to have a war.
Now, we're going to listen to his opinion because, in my opinion, I believe so, that the Iranians are loaded for bear. They're ready. We've seen that. Okay? They seized 3 ships. Let's go.
I'm afraid that's going to happen. But here's the danger of it. This will not be simply a repeat of what has already happened. The Iranians are not waiting to be surprise attacked. The Iranians now are loaded for bear. And the Iranians have put the world in the region on notice that the following will likely happen. If the United States and Israel strike Iran, Iran will terminate the existence of the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, and perhaps Saudi Arabia. And they do this by striking desalination plants and oil production facilities. The strikes will be immediate, they will be incessant, and they will be decisive, and it will be the end of these nations. Imagine living in Dubai, the summer coming up. I've been to Dubai in the summer. It's very hot. You need a lot of water. Now imagine not having any water and no air conditioning.
Diamond Gang, could y'all please hit the like for your girl? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. I got so much information I want to share with you guys. I need you to hit the like. It's free.
Conditioning. You will have a ghost city because it will depopulate. The same thing will happen to Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, Manama, Riyadh, and every other one of these big cities has been built up. The Iranians aren't playing games. They're not going to play a game of escalation management where, as the United States strike, Iran responds in kind. If the United States chooses to strike, there's good reason to believe that the Iranians will go for the jugular, destroying, but in doing so, destroying the global economy. The world.
That part. And that's what we cannot afford. Globally. Let's go.
The economy will not recover from the harm that will be inflicted when Iran takes away not just the ability to ship energy, but to produce energy, not disrupted for a decade, but disrupted for centuries. And Israel may not fare any better because Iran isn't going to play games with Israel either. And you're probably going to be looking at Israeli desalination.
Let's talk about Israel real quick. They paid no attention to the ceasefire, and they are still going back and forth with Hezbollah. They're still going back and forth. Guess what, y'all? Netanyahu announced his cancer, his prostate cancer. Okay? How true this is, I don't know. I have some information on multiple times that he has announced this sickness every time he's in warfare. So this cancer is quite frequent. And we're going to go through a timeline of every incident where he has claimed this sickness. This is insane. Let's go.
And power generation plants, critical infrastructure that Iran so far has avoided targeting, being struck. And that'll make Israel uninhabitable for millions of people. And once the Jewish Israeli population starts fleeing Israel, Israel ceases to function as a modern, viable nation state. This is based upon conversations with Iranians.
He will not stop, okay? He wants to go after Iran's regime. He wants everyone gone. He has not stopped. So they are still going back and forth, and they are making up imaginary lines. They are making up reasons to attack. It is insane. I've been watching this for 4 days. That's what I haven't went on to something else. Listen, things happen. Like I said, I started this, so I'm going to finish it. I don't give a good goddamn about a monetization right now. All right, let's go.
that they're not going to play the escalation game. They're going to go straight for the jugular, that when this war starts again, they're going to end it as soon as possible, which will put Trump in a very difficult position, because now he can't spend this. He will lose the election, which means America's in trouble.
Donald Trump extended the ceasefire with Iran because the U.S. is...
Now we're going to get into what we have. I told you guys, maybe 2 weeks ago, that our stockpile was very low. Why do you think that they're asking Congress for $200 billion? Wait till y'all hear this.
running out of weapons. Last week, Donald Trump said, we're going to have a deal signed by the end of the weekend. When that didn't happen, by Monday, he said, we're not going to extend the ceasefire deal. If nothing is signed, we're just going to start bombing again. Well, guess what happened today? An extension of the ceasefire deal. And why issue an extension to the ceasefire deal that was meant to expire today? Because U.S. missile stockpiles have been depleted because of...
Bingo. U.S. stockpiles have been depleted. I might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but guess what? I'm paying attention. I'm watching this, and I'm going to explain it to you guys how I see it through my eyes. Okay? I may not be politically correct on everything, but I'm going to do the damn best that I can.
The war in Iran. We're literally running out of weapons. According to a new analysis from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, the sheer scale of Operation Epic Fury's air and missile campaign has left incredible gaps in the U.S.'s munition reserves. And
y'all hear that? Gaps in the Hold on. Come on, Diamond Gang. Can y'all hit the like for me? I got 160 in the building. Please and thank you. They are free. Likes are free.
There's just some details on the depletion levels. Patriot missiles almost...
Y'all ready to hear these numbers? They're nothing nice.
Almost 50% of the total stockpile has been depleted. THAAD missile interceptors, more than half of the inventory has been expended. Precision strike missiles, more than 45% of the stockpile is completely used up. And if that's not enough, CENTCOM has confirmed today that we are rearming, retooling in preparation for continuation of the war. Now, Iran previously rejected ceasefire negotiations.
Guess what they think? That we're taking a break and we pulled the ceasefire so that we can build our stockpile. This is their belief. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe. What do you guys think? Put it in the chat.
Saying they don't want a temporary ceasefire. They want a permanent end to the war. And any ceasefire with the U.S. is just going to be used as an opportunity for the enemy to resupply and attack again. Well, it looks like Iran was right, because CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper said, we're rearming, we're retooling, and we're adjusting our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There's no military in the world that adjusts like we do, and that's exactly what we're doing right now during the ceasefire. Because this isn't an actual ceasefire, it's an opportunity to resupply. But the only reason they need to resupply in the first place is because of how poorly they strategized in the first part of this war, that nearly half of our weapons...
We went through that stockpile pretty quickly.
Stockpile is depleted. This shows incredible weakness on the U.S.'s part right now.
Don't start a war you're not prepared to finish. And Diamond.
Okay. Sorry, Diamond Gang. Let's go.
Trump started a war he's not prepared to finish. He thought he could essentially blow hard his way and get the Iranians to do his bidding. He clearly thought the Venezuela example was going to work.
Yeah. And now he's talking about Cuba next. This was far from Venezuela, far from that.
Work here. And it didn't. I guess the good news is, if you're worried about us getting into a years-long quagmire, he isn't going to do it. I think that's a good thing for our troops. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't believe that he's going to do it either, because he's bored and he wants to move on, in my opinion.
For a lot of Iranians, people are going to live instead of die. But strategically, this has been a strategic disaster. This is an epic foreign policy failure. And it is hard to see that whatever deal eventually gets cut here does anything other than.
Listen, we are close to the Obama deal. It's going to be basically the same, but guess what? We are going to, in my opinion, give Iran a little more than what Obama did. We're going to release more money to them.
Oddly enhance the position of the Iranians.
If you were to ask me who's winning the war with Iran right now, I would say it's.
Hold on, let me take that back. Did y'all hear what he said at the end? Let's go.
Anything other than oddly enhance the position of the Iranians.
That part is going to enhance the position of the Iranians.
If you were to ask me who's winning the war with Iran right now, I would say it's a draw. The U.S. military did some real damage to Iran's capabilities over the course of the last 6 or 7.
What do you guys think? Do you think it's a draw? Or do you think one side, weigh in. I need y'all to weigh in for me. We are already doing that by the Straits of Hormuz. We're not going to give them money. Okay. Okay, you believe that. And you're entitled to that opinion. But it is very close to Obama's deal. But what we're going to do is we're going to release more funds. I can't remember how much Obama released, and I'm going to look it up. But it's going to be a little higher this time. Okay.
In weeks or so, but Iran retains the ability to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and it has some pretty significant stockpiles of weapons still lying around. Moreover, we have not secured Iran's nuclear material or ensured that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon yet.
They said, no way, you're delusional. Yeah, they're close to a deal. The deal that they're talking about mimics Obama's. We went over this the last time I went live. It mimics Obama's. The only difference is that we were releasing more money to them this time around.
So there's really 3 ways that things could play out from here. The first,
I'm telling you guys.
First is there could be a deal. It could be a good deal by the Trump administration standards, whereby the nuclear material comes out, the Strait of Hormuz is reopened, potentially other measures dealing with Iran.
Listen, gang, you're entitled to your opinions. All opinions will be respected. You just can't be disrespectful, or my mods will snipe you. I got 168 in the building. I need a couple more likes to continue. They are free. You're in here because you like what you're hearing, I assume. Can you please hit the like for me, please, and thank you. I'm going to look it up real quick because I want to tell you just how much Obama gave them. But the deal that they're putting on the table, it mimics Obama's.
Iran's use of terrorist proxies in the region and other issues. Could also be a bad deal by the standard that the administration has already set. For example, one that leaves Iran in control of the Strait of Hormuz. But a deal is one option. A return to military operations is another option. You could see the violence restart, and America still has very, very substantial military capabilities in the region. And the third option, which at the moment seems like the one we are easing into, is a continuation of this game of chicken, economic chicken.
This is exactly what they're playing, a game of chicken back and forth with the threats.
We wait to see if Iran's economy collapses as a result of the U.S. blockade on their ports, or we wait to see if the world economy comes under such stress because of Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz that the Trump administration has to, on some level, relent. We'll see what happens next.
All right, I'm going to go to my second video.
The ceasefire ends in 48 hours. What's it going to be?
Now, this is my second video, okay? This is actually going to lead up till today in real time. Hold on. I'm looking up. Okay, so I am showing. Hold on. let me make sure before I tell you guys what I see. Let me make sure. All right, let's get into the ceasefire.
Got a little cute as they have been doing for 47 years.
By Wednesday night, we could see the return of major combat operations. The president says an extension of the ceasefire is very unlikely, and this thing is winding down to the proper conclusion. And I hope you're right. And we'll see what happens over the next 48 hours.
The president warns he won't extend the ceasefire without a deal. So President Trump says if there's no deal,
right, we gave them back. We released and we gave them back their own money. You are right. This time, because Trump ripped up Obama's deal and they're trying to piece one together, it is looking very close, except we're going to give them way more of their money back this time around. We're going to give them more than what Obama gave them back of their own money, is what I'm saying. But what they're piecing together, it is literally the same type of deal where we get to go in and monitor what they're doing. So he tore it up for nothing.
Unlikely to extend the ceasefire, which expires tomorrow.
Hey guys, good morning. The ceasefire between the United States and Iran is set to end this week. The reality is that Iran has violated the ceasefire multiple times, specifically in the Strait.
All right. So we're saying that they violated. They're saying that we violated. It's a back and forth.
Strait of Hormuz, where only 16 vessels passed through on Monday. President Trump has indicated he's unlikely to extend this ceasefire.
There are threats of a lot of bombs from the President of the United States.
Now, this is Fox News reporting this.
As the ceasefire ends tomorrow and as more than 30 countries are set to discuss securing a pathway in the key oil route and the impact.
Yes, it is 4 days old. If you wasn't here when I started the live stream, I always start from where I left off, and then I gradually get to today in real time. That's how I do my live streams. Hi, Possum. That's how I do my live streams. So we go over what happened 2 days before, and we'll eventually get to today in real time. And believe me, I got some things to tell y'all.
On negotiations.
President Trump has extended his ceasefire deadline, citing a fractured regime. And Matt Finn is live in Islamabad, Pakistan, with the latest for us. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Ainsley. There is supposed to be a ceasefire, but we are getting these reports of 3 separate ships
Thanks, Peanut.
attacked in the Strait of Hormuz this morning.
So overnight, the Iranian regime firing on at least 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. These are tanker ships. They're not military.
Now, those 3 tanker ships, we said that they did not violate the ceasefire because they weren't U.S. ships. Okay.
Vessels, complicating the shaky ceasefire that was supposed to end today and now extended by President Trump as the blockade remains in effect.
Listen, they are still charging $2 million for ships. They still got their toll. They are running rogue. They're saying that our blockade is tightening up. That's not the case. There are ships still getting through. And I'll show you the proof.
Breaking news. Just hours after the ceasefire was extended, 3 separate ships have been attacked in or near the Strait of Hormuz. 2 of them confirmed by the
and they seized those ships.
British Maritime Trade.
I got 163 in the building, 19 likes. Can you please hit the like, please and thank you. If you would like to support the channel, my Cash App is pinned. But I'm asking for likes. Please and thank you.
Operations Center, one of them by the group Vanguard. Iran has now taken responsibility for all 3.
All right, so earlier today, the IRGC opened fire on 3 different vessels moving through the Strait of Hormuz and seized and brought back to Iran.
So they seized 3 different vessels, and we said that they did not violate. and they are still charging tolls, something Trump said that they were not allowed to do.
Iranian territory, 2 of them. That's the first time this has happened since the war began. Now, a note sent out by the IRGC.
They're amping up. They're doing everything that they said that they were going to do. They're doing it.
Navy earlier today said, quote, 2 offending ships, the MSC Francesca, which they say is linked to the Zionist regime, and Epaminondas, got that wrong, which had jeopardized maritime security without the necessary permits and by tampering with navigation systems, were seized by the IRGC Navy and directed to the Iranian coast. Disrupting order and safety in the Strait of Hormuz is our red line. Not seen a response yet from the United States or anyone else for that matter. But again, this is a pretty significant escalation as it marks the first 2 ships moving through the Strait of Hormuz seized, taken over by the IRGC. Again, 3 different ships today were fired upon by the IRGC Navy. Looks like they were using their fast attack boats. Very small vessels that are very easy to hide, easy to conceal along the coastline. The kind of thing that's very hard for us to take out 100% from the air. In fact, there was an image going around earlier today showing a satellite image showing a number of these, like a dozen plus fast attack boats moving.
They have a bunch of those, and they could do major damage. I showed you guys that.
Out into the Strait of Hormuz to harass and possibly seize a couple of these vessels. We have 3 different ships that earlier today reported being fired on with either small arms or RPGs. One of them said that they had actually received confirmation and approval to move through the Strait of Hormuz. And then as they tried to carry out that maneuver, these fast attack boats arrived without warning, nothing on the radio, open fire.
I showed you guys the destruction of those little fast boats.
From my understanding right now, the ships are not significantly damaged and nobody in the crew is killed or wounded. But again, 2 ships moved into Iranian territory, taken over by the IRGC, and a 3rd one looks like it was fired upon, but was able to exit the Strait of Hormuz. So pretty significant escalation, I'd say, this morning.
Iran has seized at least 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz just hours after Donald Trump extended the ceasefire. And at the same time, the U.S. blockade is actively collapsing. The IRGC opened fire on the first ship after it had ignored the warnings of the Iranian armed forces. And the second ship.
What they're doing to get through is they're turning off their little signals and they're getting through.
Named Euphoria was then stopped after being fired upon, followed by the targeting of a 3rd vessel. IRGC Naval Command posted on social media the 2 seized ships had endangered maritime security by operating without the necessary permits and tampering with navigation systems. At the same time, new reports indicate at least 34 Iranian-linked tankers and gas carriers have successfully bypassed the U.S. naval blockade.
Okay, let me take that back. How many has successfully?
IRGC Naval Command posted on social media the 2 seized ships had endangered maritime security by operating without the necessary permits and tampering with navigation systems. At the same time, new reports indicate at least 34 Iranian-linked tankers and gas.
34.
Gas carriers have successfully bypassed the U.S. naval blockade. Of the 34 identified vessels, 19 exited the Persian Gulf, while 15 entered the region. At least 6 outbound tankers were confirmed to be carrying roughly 10.7 million barrels of Iranian crude.
So you know they got paid. They got paid in a major way. So you know what they're going to do with that money.
Crude oil. These shipments equate to about $910 million in potential revenue for Iran. Many of the vessels simply turned off their transponders to go dark and were only detected via satellite imagery. This is
bingo.
This is embarrassing for the United States and a complete failure by Donald Trump. Iran has once again shown us that it controls the Strait of Hormuz and can effortlessly bypass the U.S. naval blockade.
They definitely in control of the straits.
Breaking news. We have new footage in showing Iran seizing 2
Here they go. This is footage of them actually seizing the ships.
Ships that were operating in or near the Strait of Hormuz. This footage was published by Iranian state media showing Iran taking control of the ships. But the White House says this was not a ceasefire violation.
Does the president view that as a violation of the ceasefire? No, because these were not U.S. ships. These were not.
Okay, there it is. They said no, it wasn't a violation of the ceasefire.
Israeli ships. These were 2 international vessels.
All right, so it turns out the IRGC firing upon 3 ships and then seizing 2 of them in the Strait of Hormuz earlier today was not a violation of the ceasefire. At least that's according to the White House. Caroline Leavitt was just asked this question on Fox News, and she said the president does not view Iran's actions earlier today as a violation of the ceasefire because those ships were not American and those ships were not Israeli. This is really bad messaging, to be blunt. All right, so what happened earlier today was 3 ships were fired upon by these Iranian fast attack boats, small arms fire, like AK-47s, machine guns. And
Yeah, because nothing is clear. Nothing is clear. This is so messy. This is so messy.
And then RPGs. 2 of the ships were seized and moved back into Iranian territory. It's the first time that's happened since the war began. So we don't really know what's going to happen with those 2 ships and their crews. The reason this happened is the IRGC said those ships were not adhering to our rules. They said we laid out who could pass and who couldn't. They were not paying attention. They were not abiding by the terms that we set forward. So we shot at them and then we took over 2 of their ships. That's a problem anywhere in the world. That is not the control over a strait that we would
Right. That part.
like to cede on the international waterways. But by saying that this is not a violation of the ceasefire, because they're not American, because they're not Israeli, really does kind of give the green light to the IRGC. You know this is going to be received inside of Iran as kind of tacit approval.
Bingo. So this is empowering them, in my opinion. We are giving them so much power.
They have control. They can enforce their new standards in the Strait of Hormuz. And not only, according to the White House right now, we'll see if this changes, is there not going to be an immediate response from the United States, but we are actually going to continue pushing for a diplomatic solution and not even going to refer to this as a violation of the ceasefire. So
what do y'all think about this? Seriously, they have so much power right now.
look, Iran has a lot of control over the Strait right now, and they just added to that earlier today by forcibly taking control of 2 ships that they say were.
Do you think when it's in that they will still have control? For some reason, I do.
Not adhering to their new rules.
They're going to have control of something that they didn't have control of to begin with, to start with.
All right. Iran's Navy attacked not 1, not 2, but 3 cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, those ships were trying to make a break for it, and 2, we understand, have now been seized by Iran. Check out the path of one of those. This is the MSC Francesca.
Now, this is going to show you guys, where they were, where they got caught.
She's a Panama flagged ship. She started off the west coast of the United Arab Emirates, and then the dotted line here is where she had turned off her tracking system, her AIS, to try to sneak out.
That is how some of those Iranian ships are getting through. They're turning off their trackers.
It was a similar path for the MSC Epaminondas. This is a Greek flagship.
Again, 34 reportedly got past the U.S. blockade.
But they both didn't make it. They both were attacked and they were stopped off Iran's coast here. And we can see this in this tracking video from marine traffic. Iran said that they were, 1, operating without the right permits, and then 2, that they were tampering with their navigation systems. And as we just saw, they had turned off their transponders. And then there is the fate of that 3rd ship. And that one actually did manage to get away. It's being identified as the MSC Euphoria, perhaps something that is an appropriate feeling for the people on that ship. Now, in this image, you can see her making a hard right headed west. It then made it to
Y'all see it? The arrow was pointing right at it.
the east coast of the UAE safely. Off of this, I spoke with a senior risk analyst at Lloyd's List. This is the maritime intelligence firm. And she told me that ships and their companies are just getting more and more desperate by the day.
This is insane. So they are getting that desperate that they are taking and risking a chance like this.
A lot of these ships have been trapped since this war started. That was back on February 28th. So we're really talking about almost 2 months here being trapped. The price of global oil, I just checked, Brent crude did react.
They said even if there isn't into this, the gas will not go down for a long time.
Back up over the psychological $100 a barrel mark.
Breaking news in Iran. After Iran stood up the U.S. and didn't show up for the second round of negotiations. And by the way, they literally stood up the Americans.
Yes, they did. They stood us up big time.
J.D. Vance was on the runway ready to fly to Pakistan when he was told they were not coming. Iran has said they will continue talks with the U.S. when the U.S. decides to come to the table, knowing that Iran has the upper hand. In other words, the U.S. needs to come to the table knowing they lost.
Mount Diamond Gang, there was an update today. There will be talks starting tomorrow.
The war. Because of this, Donald Trump has extended the ceasefire indefinitely. The U.S. still has a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, because his tactic, those threats, it was not working. He was being perceived as a liar.
But Iran says their ships are still getting through. I don't know who to believe on this one. Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social 2 days ago saying it's totally blockaded, and Iran says otherwise. Speaking of the Strait, Iran's parliament has
Again, they claim 34 ships got through the U.S. blockade.
drafted legal rules for the Strait of Hormuz. Tolls must be paid in Iranian rials before any vessel is granted passage.
Y'all hear that? So they are still charging that $2 million. Okay, so they're making money on top of money.
All contracts must reference the name Persian Gulf, as in the Strait of Persia. Ships from nations that participated in the war must pay additional compensation on top of the tolls, and countries that are permanently banned from passage include Israeli-linked vessels, countries that sanction Iran, and U.S. military ships. Donald Trump posted today he ordered the U.S. Navy that any small boats they see in the water planting mines, they should shoot on sight. Iran's Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi.
Yeah, and he said that again. Pete Hegseth said that again today, and that's the issue. They have a bunch of those small boats, and like I said, like I told you guys, I showed you about a week ago, the type of damage they could do to those larger vessels is insane.
Pahlavi is in Germany today. He had red paint thrown at him at a press conference in Berlin. An Iranian supporter is the one who did it. Israel, as part of their lying propaganda campaign, is making AI videos.
Yes. Let me tell y'all what Israel is doing. Okay. They are, and I seen a video on this. It blew my mind. They were in a meeting, and the leader basically said it wasn't Netanyahu. I can't remember the guy's name, nor probably I can't even pronounce it. But he basically said that they were going to start lying about the war like Trump do to basically throw everything off. It was I never seen anything like this. I'm like, really?
Fake victims of the fake Iranian protests that happened in January. Look at how real this video looks. But don't forget, Israel said a few days ago that they need to spread fake news as part of their propaganda.
And I'm telling you guys, I seen it. They are literally spreading fake news.
Defense Minister Israel Katz says he's waiting for the green light from the U.S. to complete the elimination of the Khamenei dynasty. He wants to assassinate the Iranian leadership.
I told you guys that. This is why I keep telling y'all, Israel, they have different objectives. They are not going to stop. We asked them to stop, and they never stopped. They are literally making up reasons.
And destroy Iran's infrastructure. Instead of looking for peace and talking about peace, all they want to do is kill. Typical.
It is now day 56 of the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran.
All right, y'all. We are close to today. This happened last night. Okay, so let's go.
Here's a roundup of what happened in the past 24 hours. President Trump officially ordered the U.S. Navy to shoot and kill any Iranian small boats observed laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz.
And that's what they're doing, those small boats. So I can see this. I can definitely see him. I'm okay with this.
A leaked Pentagon assessment suggests it could take up to 6 months to fully clear Iranian-laid mines from the Strait once hostilities end. Secretary of the Navy John Phelan was ousted from his position yesterday, departing.
And we are still letting people go in the midst of a war. Hegseth told him, either you resign or you will be fired. This is insane. He is a chief. U.S. Navy chief resigns. Conflict about this war. This is what this is about.
Effective immediately. Phelan was reportedly asked to resign or be fired by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after clashing over naval strategy. Trump claimed on his Truth.
And here's the thing. Hegseth has very little experience. This is insane. Like I said, the only regime change that I see is with the U.S. And I'm just being honest. We fired chiefs, a little bit of everybody. Like, this is crazy.
Social that the U.S. has total control and has sealed up the Strait until Iran agrees to a deal. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf reiterated that opening the Strait is impossible as long as the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports remains in place.
Do you think they could break us? Do you think that Trump is going to remove the U.S. blockade? What do you guys think? Put it in the chat. This is crazy.
Iran's IRGC released footage today confirming it has moved.
I think Possum, he had some military, but I think he got put out or something. I can't remember. I reviewed this about 5 live streams ago. He has very little experience.
2 seized container ships, the MSC Francesca and Epaminondas, to the port.
You said Trump will fold. Man, this is getting wild. I'm like, okay, it's it's starting to die down a little bit, and now they need to get it all off the bunkers. What you mean? Do you know how many FDR fired after Pearl? No, I don't. You said Trump isn't going to fold? Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Because right now, the Iranians, in my opinion, they have the upper hand. They do. I can't see it no other way. You letting them run the straits. They playing cowboys and Indians over there. They just doing whatever, charging. They live in La Vida. Let's go.
Of Bandar Abbas. Iran is also now reportedly collecting.
Can I at least get 50 likes? I'm at 27 likes. Come on, y'all. Please and thank you. I mean, they have all those boats in the bunkers. Yeah, they do. They got a lot. And remember, in the beginning of, thank you guys for hitting a like. In the beginning of this live stream, their stockpile has not been depleted. So, I don't know. You said explain the upper hand. That right there, the straits. They got everybody in a chokehold because they are running the straits. Even with the U.S. blockade. We considered that not to be the ceasefire. I mean, they're doing what they want to do. They're seizing ships. They're like, yeah, they're just doing it big. They're charging.
Tolls from ships attempting to use the waterway. Meanwhile, high-level talks resumed in Washington today between Lebanese ambassador Neda Hamada Moawad and Israeli ambassador Yates.
They refused to come to the table to have talks because of the U.S. blockade. What did we then do? Indefinite ceasefire. Remember, he threatened to bomb them. And because they didn't show up, what did we do? So I feel like they have the upper hand. They're running shit right now.
The leader. Lebanon is formally requesting a 1-month extension of the current 10-day ceasefire, which is set to expire on Sunday.
Y'all hear that? They never stopped. They never stopped.
Hezbollah remains officially absent and opposed to these direct negotiations, asserting its right to resist occupying forces. This comes while, despite the ongoing ceasefire, Israeli attacks continue in Lebanon.
Bingo. Israeli just keep on going. They never stopped.
This morning, an Israeli strike near Nabatea killed 3 people, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry, as targeted home demolitions continue. Hezbollah claimed responsibility for multiple operations in southern Lebanon today.
They are part of the ceasefire. Trump asked them to stop. They included Hezbollah. Israel just won't stop.
Stating that they were retaliation for the Israeli strike that killed journalist Amal Khalil yesterday. The Israeli army reported that 45 officers and soldiers were injured in South Lebanon over the past 48 hours. The UN warns that the war and associated fuel and fertilizer disruptions could push over 30 million people back into poverty globally.
This is insane.
Oil prices are climbing once again, with escalating tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, surging above $105 per barrel today.
I'm going to tell you guys now, the gas prices will not go down for a long time.
The effective closure of the Strait has cut global exports by approximately 10 million barrels per day, making this the largest supply disruption in history.
President Trump has authorized the United States Navy.
It's okay. You said, I thought I removed the message by mistake. They'll be all right.
To destroy any.
Okay, this is Pete Hegseth calling out those orders. Get those little boats.
Iranian fast boats that attempt to put mines in the water or disrupt passage through the Strait of Hormuz, to shoot and kill. Our commanders have clear rules of engagement. If Iran is putting mines in the water or otherwise threatening American commercial shipping or American forces, we will shoot.
They are.
To destroy. No hesitation, just like the drug boats in the Caribbean.
I can't with him. I just can't. I'm sorry.
The United States has imposed an ironclad blockade that grows more powerful.
This is supposed to be ironclad, and I just showed y'all the proof. 34 Iranian vessels got through. One with a bunch of oil, totaling, I think he said 9 million.
By the day.
That's the latest from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. And he said in Friday's latest Iran war briefing that the U.S. has so far turned around a total of 34 ships that have been.
They said they turned around 34. The Iranians is claiming that 34, they got through. Thanks, gang, for hitting the like. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Linked to Iran since this American blockade of the Strait of Hormuz started, which was back on April 13th. So we're now 11 days into this. New data, though, from the marine intelligence firm, this is Lloyd's List, appears to show that not every single Iranian-linked boat is being stopped.
Boom. Okay. So did y'all hear that? Do y'all hear the conflicting stories? That's all I'm saying.
Their latest headline is that between this past Wednesday and the morning of Thursday, that 7 vessels transited the choke point and that 6 were involved in Iranian trade. On top of that, tracking by marine traffic shows that some vessels are getting through.
So our blockade is not that ironclad.
Here represent oil tankers, and we can see one stop just south of Larak Island. And remember, that is the so-called toll booth that Iran is trying.
Bingo. Their toll booth that they're charging, that Trump told them that they couldn't charge. So again, this is why I feel like they have the upper hand.
To charge ships for passage, and then that tanker we see carries on east out of the strait. And then on April 23rd, we see a cargo ship, this is a Green Arrow, also make a similar path and out east too. My colleague Joanne Stalker here on our CBS News Confirm team told me that she tracked at least 6 transits over that same time frame from Wednesday.
I'm just saying, here's the proof. Here is the proof.
Into Thursday. To put this into context, about 140 ships used to passed through the Strait every single day before the war. It's now a trickle, we know, but it does appear too, at least a handful of Iranian ships, both cargo and oil, are still getting through.
So they are still getting through.
Remember when President Trump said the U.S. has a virtually unlimited supply of munitions?
We have a lot.
We're going to go back into this. I told you guys where we started. I'm going to finish.
A tremendous, unlimited supply of what you'd call middle and upper middle armaments.
Well, a new analysis finds the conflict is actually taking a toll on the Pentagon stockpile. The Center for Strategic and International Studies says the U.S. may have expended more than half of the pre-war inventory of at least 4 key munitions, including Tomahawk missiles.
So if this actually escalate, and in my opinion, I do truly believe this is why the ceasefire is indefinite. We don't know what they're going to do with this. I believe that this is one of the reasons.
The Tomahawk is a long-range offensive weapon, and according to the CSIS, the U.S. had more than 3,000 of these in its pre-war inventory. So far, it's used more than 1,000 in the war. These missiles cost $2.6 million per unit, and it takes nearly 4 years to deliver.
4 years to deliver. $2.6 million. We asked for 200 what? Bill? He asked for 200 billion from Congress. Diamond Gang, I'm at 32 likes. Can I get 20 more likes, please and thank you? I got 129 in the building. I need 20 more likes, please and thank you.
What about defensive capabilities? Before the war, the U.S. had more than 2,000 Patriot missiles on hand. Those missiles are designed to stop incoming strikes. So far, about half of the stockpile has been used in the war. Patriot missiles have a price tag of...
What are we going to do? And then he said Cuba is next, y'all. How? We don't have anything. We're running out of things.
$3.9 million. I talked to Mark Hansian, who co-wrote this report for CSIS.
Because the demand had come way down, we should be able to sustain that in this conflict if it should reignite. The problem is in a future conflict, particularly against China.
Yeah, because China getting, I'm telling you, and I said this in my previous lives, China said, we've been doing business, we're going to continue doing business, and they got through the straits with no problem. None.
Usage of munitions would be very high in a conflict with China. We didn't have enough to start with, and of course now we're further behind. It will take years to rebuild those inventories and to build up to where we need to be, and that produces a window of vulnerability.
Hansian says there are some...
Look, after what's going on, did y'all see... I can't even pronounce his name, Chung-un, whatever his name is. Did y'all see his daughter driving that military truck? It was, I couldn't believe it. She's just a baby, and he's teaching her.
Low-cost alternatives like drones and counter-drone systems, but those systems aren't effective for ballistic missiles. This week, the head of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command told the Senate Armed Services Committee that...
I'm with you on that, Tariq. You said no more war. President getting us in all of this war, shaking my head. If he made the foolish choice to go after Cuba, Russia will intervene. Yeah. This is good. Yeah.
Scaling up the output of, say, the Tomahawk cruise missile could take years for companies like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon.
The United States now has 3 aircraft carriers deployed.
Listen to this. We have not done this since the Iraq War. We have 3 aircraft carriers deployed to the Middle East. We haven't done this in a long time.
Deployed to the Middle East. We haven't seen that since the start of the Iraq War. That includes the USS George H.W. Bush, which just arrived here. The USS Ford is currently operating out of the Red Sea. And the USS Abraham Lincoln has been deployed here since the very beginning. Both Iran and the US are taking another stab at diplomacy this weekend. So the question is, will all these aircraft carriers be used? Or is this just a show of force to get Iran back to the negotiating table?
What y'all think? What do y'all think?
Breaking news. This time it looks like peace talks are happening tomorrow. Iran's leadership just landed in Pakistan, and Jared Kushner.
And once again, I got to say this, and I say this all the time. Shouts out to Pakistan. They worked overtime putting all of this together.
Kushner and Steve Witkoff are on their way as well. Hopefully we can gain some ground and some.
They don't trust them to. This is crazy. However, when Vance went, remember the last rounds, he had to report to Netanyahu. I mean, it seemed like every hour on the hour, like they did not trust him over there to negotiate anything. But because the Iranians requested Vance, guess what? We honored their request and we sent Vance the first time. He spent more time on the phone with Netanyahu and Trump than he did at the table negotiating. Let's go.
On something. But the problem with these negotiations is that Witkoff and Kushner are negotiating for Israel, not for the U.S. They need to check in and report to Netanyahu on things. And if that is the case, there will never be a peace deal.
This right here, this is a problem.
Israel does not want peace with Iran. They want total annihilation. They can't have a strong Muslim country in the region.
I'm going to say this again, okay? When you decide to go to war and you have two different objectives and no solid exit plan, this is what can happen, okay? Netanyahu has his objectives, which are a lot different than ours. We had no plan B. We never thought that they was going to ever close the straits, nor did we create a backup plan if they were to.
Because they want total power and they don't want any threats towards their country. Look how hard it is for them to steal the land in Lebanon. They cannot even move more than 5 kilometers from the border. That is literally 3 miles away. And speaking of Lebanon, today in Beit Jbel, the IDF published footage of Hezbollah soldiers exchanging fire. And when Israel realized they were losing the battle, their soldiers ran away, called in an airstrike, and of course, the cowardly Israel hit the roof of the building where the Hezbollah.
So they are still, y'all hear this? They're just going and going and going. We cannot get control over them. It's like, how is this ever going to end? How?
Fighters were. But prior to the airstrike, 2 Hezbollah soldiers were killed.
Remember, we didn't start this. Israel did. I don't know.
In the fire exchange, and the airstrike killed the remaining 4 of them. In another event, Hezbollah shot down another Israeli drone today in Sur. But why is Israel continuing their daily violations of the ceasefire anyway? Oh yeah, they're
violating. Yes, they're making up excuses. They're making fake lines. They're making up excuses just to strike. This is not going to stop.
Excuse, Hezbollah. And then today, the IDF, the most moral army in the world, said they found an ambulance with Hezbollah weapons inside. Remember, Israel has been hitting ambulances nonstop since this war started and claimed that Hezbollah is using ambulances. And now they opened this ambulance. And why?
Let me ask you guys, there was a video floating around, and I believe CBS was the first one to release it. They were striking hospitals. They were, I don't know how they got this footage. It's very rare that they got this footage. And the woman that was trying to save the babies in the NICU, it broke my heart. Though you're not supposed to hit hospitals, schools, like a lot of illegal things went on.
Oh, look at all these weapons so beautifully displayed. I would say this looks camera ready, don't you? The lying propaganda is not working, Israel. Please just stop. Yesterday, Israel surprisingly reported that over 45 IDF soldiers were injured in the last 48 hours. Why are they all of a sudden reporting these injuries? I'm sure there are deaths too, but they only reported the injuries. My thoughts are I think Israel may end up leaving Lebanon soon. These soldiers were injured by Hezbollah drone strikes on the Lebanese border, where they are occupying the border villages. What did they think was going to happen? Sitting there on Lebanese land like sitting ducks, while Hezbollah, with all the drones they have now, what they think?
Woo! They got drones for days thanks to Russia, I believe, in my opinion.
Think they're not going to use them? These drones are a game changer, and I believe this will be the reason they leave. And with that being said, Lebanon Prime Minister Nawaf Salam made a statement yesterday, and this is another reason why I think Israel will leave. He said Lebanon will not sign any deal without full Israeli withdrawal. We cannot live with a so-called buffer.
Bingo. So what they're saying is no buffer zone, and if you guys don't totally withdraw, we're not going to step to the table to negotiate anything. So this is insane. We got a war inside of a war going on, basically.
Zone, an Israeli presence where Lebanese displaced people are not allowed to return, where destroyed villages and towns cannot be rebuilt. Nawaf added that the disarmament of Hezbollah will take time. This is not an overnight thing. I think this statement was agreed upon by Lebanon, Israel, and the U.S. I think a full withdrawal and ceasefire is coming real soon.
Donald Trump. All right, bingo. Now we're going to get into this is today, this morning. Donald Trump crashed out. He's been crashing out on True Social, staying up all damn night, just posting crazy stuff. Let's go. You fell asleep today.
Trump was caught falling asleep again on camera today in the middle of a meeting in the Oval Office. Just watch. It's incredibly embarrassing.
We continue our work on negotiating.
They got to keep him off of True Social. That's all I'm saying. All right, I got 37 likes. I got 148 in the building. Can I please get at least 20 more likes? I hate to keep stopping the extra likes. Please and thank you. They are free. Please subscribe to the channel. Keep your notifications on. I'm back. I will be going live quite often. I used to go maybe every day, if not every day, every other day. They give updates.
International trade agreements. 59 days after we stood in this office and President Trump, standing with Albert Bourla from Pfizer, announced the first of the 17 MFN deals.
He was up all night on True Social posting, gang. And I'm going to show y'all what he was posting. This is insane. Let's go.
Together with our colleagues from the Department of Commerce under Secretary Letnick's leadership and from the U.S. Trade Representative.
Hi, Ira. Hi, Kevin. Welcome.
In his office under the leadership of Ambassador Greer, we negotiated a landmark agreement with the government of the United Kingdom in which
he got to stay off of True Social. He got to, with them rants, them late night rants.
They agreed to increase significantly the amount that they spend on branded pharmaceuticals for the first time.
You got time to harass the Pope at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Come on. We got an active war going on.
26 years.
He's out.
That work continues with other countries.
Done.
And third,
I mean, how humiliating for the United States. He's asleep and then he jolts awake, looks around, and then hits the hay once again. He's not fighting for the American people. He's fighting to keep his eyes open. I will never get over the fact that for 4 years straight, Republicans insulted Biden over his mental capacity, saying he couldn't do the job. And yet their guy is falling asleep in front of the American people every day, and they're silent.
And because of these crash outs and because of the threats of war crimes, yeah, they're trying to invoke the 25th Amendment.
We have some news right now. Overnight, Donald Trump amplified calls to arrest Barack Obama for treason, Hillary Clinton for treason.
Did y'all hear that? He want Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton and Obama to be arrested. This is why he was asleep today. He was up all night on True Social. I need 6 more likes to get at least 50 likes. Please and thank you. Okay. So calls to arrest Obama and Hillary Clinton for treason. Let's go. I'm going to take it back a little bit. Let's get it.
while he was being protested at a dinner with the Ellisons. The Ellisons, the owners of Paramount, CBS, soon to be Warner Bros.
Let me take it back again. He was
The
crashing
first
out.
of the 17 MFN deals.
He crashed out this morning on True Social. Let's go.
Together with our colleagues from the Department of Commerce under Secretary Lutnick's leadership and from the U.S. Trade Representative's office under the leadership of Ambassador Greer, we negotiated a landmark agreement with the government of the United Kingdom in which they agreed to increase significantly the amount that they spend on branded pharmaceuticals for the first time in 26 years.
He's out.
That work continues with
He's
other
gone.
countries.
Done.
And third,
I mean, how humiliating for the United States. He's asleep and then he
What's up, niece? Hey, Nay.
jolts awake, looks around, and then hits the hay once again. He's not fighting for the American people. He's fighting to keep his eyes open. I will never get over the fact that for 4 years straight, Republicans insulted Biden over his mental capacity, saying he couldn't do the job. And yet their guy is falling asleep in front of the American people every day, and they're silent.
We have some news right now. Overnight, Donald Trump amplified calls to arrest Barack Obama for treason, Hillary Clinton for treason, all while he was being protested at a dinner with the Ellisons. The Ellisons, the owners of Paramount, CBS, soon to be Warner Brothers, and CNN. First up, Trump called for the arrest of...
Okay, here we go. This is what he was doing, and that's why he was asleep today.
Barack Obama before his grand opening of his presidential library in Chicago. It's time we prosecuted someone for treason and send a message. You then had him going after Hillary Clinton, saying that treason was committed and now they must pay or they will do it again. Americans demand.
This is exactly why they are trying to evoke the 25th Amendment. He got to stop. He got to stop.
And this all came just hours after he attended a dinner with the Ellisons that was honoring him at the Institute for Peace. The Ellisons purchased CBS, will soon be ownership of CNN. While he was going to the dinner, he faced significant protests from lawmakers as well as DC residents. During White House Correspondents' Weekend, Trump is being honored despite attacking the First Amendment in ways no president has in history. Support independent media, subscribe to my Substack, link in bio, spread the word, follow for more.
I think Donald Trump is having another mental health episode. It's the middle.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Hit the like. I need 2 more likes, please and thank you. I need 2 more likes, please and thank you. I'm only asking for 50. I normally ask for 100. I normally get close to 300, but I'll take 50 tonight. I ain't been live in 4 days. I've been missing in action. Well, I'm back. Let's go.
Of the night, and he just went on an insane social media posting spree calling for Obama to be arrested, Hillary Clinton to be arrested, demanding that the 2020 election be removed from the books, and more. It all started here at 12:19 in the morning when Trump posted this tweet.
12:19 a.m. East Coast time. 12:19. Thanks for the 50 likes, gang. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. My Cash App is pinned. Please support the channel with a like, subscribe, get your notifications on, because I'm back. I'm not waiting for my appeal. That's why I've been missing in action. My monetization was removed because of what I'm talking about right now. Okay? So I risk my monetization to bring entertainment and updates to my audience. I put my appeal through. It could take up to 14 days. After the 4th day of not going live, I said, nah, they ain't stopping nothing. I started this and I'm going to finish it. Let's go.
From a MAGA account saying that there's evidence that Obama tried to overthrow the government back in 2016. This is what the president of the United States is doing in the middle of the night. Then at 12:27 in the morning, he followed it up with another tweet from a MAGA account saying that Obama and Hillary Clinton committed treason and now they must pay or they will do it again. Americans demand it. And of course, the penalty for treason is death. So that's what Donald Trump is advocating for here.
Crashing out, y'all. This is exactly why they are doing what they are doing.
12:28, he posted another tweet from a random account saying, at Barack Obama, I hope they arrest you before your grand opening of your war bunker.
And now that the Dems are flipping seats, they are even at even more fear of investigations
You committed treason targeting the president of the United States with Hillary Clinton. It's time we prosecuted someone for this and send a message. And then at 12:28 again, another random tweet advocating for the same thing. Then at 12:29 in the morning, he posted an AI image of a man holding a sign saying, "Stop telling us who broke the law and start telling us who was arrested." At 1:13 in the morning, he demanded.
Y'all see this? Do y'all see the crash out? Do y'all see the meltdown?
That the 2020 election be permanently wiped from the books and be of no further force or effect. At 2:43 in the morning, he posted this long tweet of Clint Eastwood complimenting him. And then finally, last but not least, at 2:45 in the morning, he posted a podcast episode from random guys talking about
2:45 a.m. Of course his ass was going to be asleep.
The birth tourism industry. So in my eyes, he is spiraling and having a very serious mental health episode. He absolutely needs to be removed from office, whether it be the 25th Amendment or impeachment.
The president has decided to dispatch Special Envoy Whit.
Now, we almost current with what's going on in real time. So they announced that we will be having talks this weekend. I'm super happy. Now they're saying that the Iranians want to talk. We'll see.
Witkoff and Jared Kushner back to Islam.
Because remember, the U.S. blockade is still there, and that's why they stood us up.
Bad. The Iranians want to talk. They want to talk in person. And so the president is, as I've said, many.
Get this. She's having a baby. So she's going on leave. Guess who's going to be handling these press conferences now? Hegseth and Trump. They're not bringing in a temporary person. They are going to do it.
Times to all of you, always willing to give diplomacy a chance. So Steve and Jared will be heading to Pakistan tomorrow to hear the Iranians out. We hope progress will be made, and we hope that positive developments will come from this meeting. And we will.
I was not able to verify if this was true or not. So I don't know.
We'll see. And the president, the vice president, the secretary of state will be waiting here in the United States for updates. And the vice president, I understand, is on standby and will be willing to dispatch to Pakistan if we feel it's a necessary use of his time.
Iran's supreme leader has reportedly forbidden negotiations with the United States, conflicting numerous reports we've seen all day, claiming there was going to be a major breakthrough in negotiations.
Y'all hear that? So guess what? I will be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow around this same time. We're going to see if they show up. Y'all heard what she just said. She said that the Iranians want to talk to us. If they don't show up, guess what? It was another lie. So we'll have to wait and see.
This is according to Raja News. Additionally, the foreign minister is not going to meet with Kushner and Witkoff in Pakistan. This comes after the White House has claimed Iran.
They said on multiple occasions they do not trust those two. They don't. This is why they asked for Vance.
Reached out and asked for an in-person meeting. Fars news agency is also disputing the United States claims, calling them false and accusing Western media of trying to sway Iranian decision-making. They said the Axios news outlet, citing anonymous American sources, claimed that two Trump advisors will hold talks with the foreign minister in Islamabad. CNN previously reported that officials would only engage in talks with mediating parties, and direct negotiations between Iranians and Americans are not expected. In recent days, Western...
Listen. I know one thing's for certain and two things for sure. They said if we don't remove that U.S. blockade, they weren't talking at all. Now, that was verified. And they didn't show up. So I don't know what to believe on this.
Media have repeatedly published false and biased news in an attempt to influence the course of decisions made by Iranian officials. This is either market manipulation or maybe the Trump administration is lying on purpose so these negotiations.
I hope this is not another round of market manipulation. This has been going on since the start of this. They got away again with millions last week. Let's go. And guess what Trump said? It happens. When he was asked about it, he said, it happens.
Negotiations fall apart and they have a reason to keep attacking Iran.
We have big news right now. The White House is bracing for complete political collapse. Polling right now in...
They're not doing good at all. We're almost at the end of this, y'all. I think after this, we're going to go into Netanyahu's prostate cancer. Let's go.
Internally and externally has never been so bad for the president, and really hasn't been this bad for a president in modern American history.
Since Carter, y'all. Since Jimmy Carter. This is bad.
Not since pre-Carter times have you seen polling this bad. On the economy and on other issues, Donald Trump is completely underwater. And according to Axios' reporting, we're at the point of essentially no return in a way, because in modern polls,
brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. This Republican, the Democrats they're flipping seats.
polling history, with the political polarizations in the United States of America and Republicans and Democrats and being generally a 50-50 country, Trump is completely underwater. And he's not just underwater with Democrats, he's underwater with independents who he needs to win, and he's even losing support of Republicans. Republicans are bracing for losing the House, possibly losing the Senate, which will guarantee almost impeachment of the president on day one. Not necessarily.
Y'all hear that? When I told y'all last week they got their foot on his neck, I meant that. I said they are not going to let up. I told y'all this. I told y'all this. Don't believe me, just watch.
Removal, but impeachment. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
If you don't think Donald Trump has lost his marbles, then you need to listen to this. According to
Listen to this. They had to remove him. They had to remove him. Let's go.
new story from the Wall Street Journal, which Rupert Murdoch owns, by the way, Trump reportedly screamed at White House aides for hours in early.
Listen, he didn't scream for the safety of this man. Listen to why he was screaming.
April, when he learned that 2 American airmen were missing in Iran after their jet was shot down. Now, he didn't seem concerned for their safety, according to the reporting. Instead, he was more concerned about how it would cost Republicans the midterms. During the rescue mission, aides kept him out of the Situation Room while they received minute-by-minute updates because, quote, they believed his impatience wouldn't be helpful. Hello? Now, I've served 3 presidents and advised a 4th. I've been in and around several White Houses. What presidential aides are really saying here is that they're dealing with someone who's so irrational, they don't trust his judgment.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I need y'all to hit the like. Please and thank you. Hit the like. They had to remove him. And he was more so worried about their status versus this man's life.
This is one of the most chilling things I've heard.
Worried about the midterms. That's what he was screaming about. They had to remove him.
So far about Trump and his war in Iran. It means that he isn't really in charge, and it means the fate of our nation is subject to the whims of an increasingly erratic, paranoid, and utterly unhinged madman. This has been clear for months. A week earlier, Trump threatened to wipe out the entire civilization.
He said that he did that as a tactic to get them to the table. I'm not making this up.
Of Iran. He won't stop rambling on about his White House ballroom.
It'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom.
They stopped. They're not giving him any more money. They said, and they stopped that whole little process.
I believe it because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. And when you hear
he's repeatedly attacked the Pope and even posted an AI-generated image of himself as Jesus. Friends, this endangers all of us. What happens if in a demented rage he hurls a nuclear bomb?
Missiles launching. They're launching. Okay, we're ready.
Who's watching the football with the nuclear codes? Who is ready to stop him to save the world? For the good of the nation and the world, It's time we face the reality. The most powerful man in the world does not have the mental capacity to do the job.
Missile launch, pshing, boom.
Congress can't wait any longer.
Congress, I'm telling you guys, get ready.
Impeach.
They lose the midterms. In my opinion, it will happen.
Impeach him now.
Ah, I thought I put that clip in here about Netanyahu. I apologize, y'all. Let me go to the comments. He has had cancer scares a lot. And it just seems like it's every time he's in the midst of a war. Okay. Let me take some of these comments. You said Trump wanted to nuke Iran. Yeah, I believe he wanted to. I do. But he thought about it. He know that a lot of Americans is against what's going on right now. And it wouldn't have been in his best interest to do that. So you said that guy talks the same thing every time he's on the microphone. Okay. Somebody said that is so not true. And what proves that? Okay. What proves that he never would have started this conflict at this time if that was true? Stop with the propaganda. It's not propaganda. Okay, Scar, you want to hit the link? You could come up and express yourself. Let me drop the link for you. What's not true? What is not true? Bingo, there's the link. What's not true? If you don't want to come up, you could put it in the chat. All opinions is respected over here. You just got to be respectful. You could go against what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I want you to be able to say what you have to say. Oh, he's in timeout. Okay, sorry. You're in timeout, sir. You must have been, he was being disrespectful, huh? You don't have to, but yeah, there is no propaganda. When I come, I bring receipts. I bring receipts. Y'all hear what he say out of his mouth? Y'all see what's going on? You know, they're definitely trying to invoke the 25th Amendment or impeach him. That's a fact. I showed you out of their own mouths a couple live streams ago the steps that they were taking to do it. I don't lie. There's no reason to lie. Y'all might not like what's going on. And that's okay. You don't have to like what's going on. But I'm not doing it to you. I'm not doing it to you. He is. Don't get mad at the messenger. So, but let me take a couple other comments. But if you want to come up, hit the link. Express yourself. Say what you got to say. No, you can't call people that word. It's okay that you feel like others shouldn't support him. You just can't say that word. Please don't say that word. I got to delete your comments, Jake. But you could stay in here. Please don't be disrespectful. Please. I'm here to protect a little bit everybody. Hey, Mike. But yeah, I made up my mind. I'm not waiting for that appeal. I think I got maybe up to possibly 7 more days. I'm not doing that. I have an audience. They like what I do, majority of them. So I'm going to show up. What's up, Meek? Like I said, I started this and I'm going to finish it. I'm going to see this out. But this is the reason why my monetization was taken. Me talking about this. Just that simple. I'm pretty sure of it. So, but like I said, likes are free. You said, hold on. There's no reason to have both sides against them. I don't know what you're trying to say. What you mean? Al, can you put it in a chat? Like, explain what you mean. Give me a little bit more details. Just a little bit more. And I'll put your comment up here. Yeah, you're entitled to your feelings. I would never try to take anybody's feelings from them. I have a problem when you become disrespectful with it. That's all. You know, you don't have to agree. You could totally be the whole opposite side, you know. So, but I had to check in with y'all. I wanted to see if I still got it, you know. I'm pretty sure it's going to take me a couple live streams to build up to where I was, and I'm cool with it. But I'm done. I'm not going to be scared to go live. I'm not doing that. I'm not. It is what it is. You know, I will depend on my likes. I will depend on, as far as supporting the channel, cash apps. And it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, I don't like to feel like I'm like censored or I'm just boggled down. Thank you. Like I can't say or do, or I'm always like, oh, are they going to demonetize me for this? Are they going to do that? I don't want to feel like that. I don't. I like what I do. I don't have, you can't call in. You got to click the link. You want to come up? You want to come up? I'll put the link back in the chat. Hold on. Please don't do nothing crazy or say nothing crazy. Let me drop the link for you. Hold on. Let's see. You got to click that link. Make sure your avatar is up if you don't want to be seen. Come up. It'll take you through StreamYard. Come on up. You said everyone knows when Trump ordered Navy ships back to war zone, we going to put foot soldiers, on Iran soil. Be a sad day, both sides. It may escalate to that. Come on, come up. You might teach me something. Come on. Armchair, come up. You said stand by. He's military. Okay. See, I like stuff like he could get me to see, you know, a whole different side of things. This is what I like. You know what I mean? So he come up, you know, he might change my mind on the whole outlook. Have no propaganda here. All the world asks them if Trump is not dementia. He is so, I can't say that Israel put him in trap. Yeah, I do believe that. You can't cuss, Henry. You cannot cuss. I can't put no. I gotta delete that. Yeah. But say it. You can put it back in the chat. Just don't remove the cursing out. But do I believe that? Yeah, I do. I believe what you said, Henry. You said quite sane is troubling. I think he military. You could tell by when he says stand by. You know, I'm ex-military. That's language we use, stand by. Which means wait a minute. So we'll see. I'll give him a couple more minutes. But at exactly 12:30 a.m. my time, I am going to go ahead and sign off. Please subscribe to the channel. Please. Keep your notifications on. I will be watching. I'm addicted now. I watch as soon as I wake up. Like I'm watching what's going on. So I'll be back with an update. Hopefully there will be some good news and the talks will be positive, you know. But like I said, the deal that he is putting in place mocks the one that he tore up, Obama's deal. The only thing is we're giving them a lot more. back than Obama did this time around. So, yeah, military lingo, baby. Stand by, stand down. Oh, he's here. Okay, let me add you. Oh, Steph, don't be mean. Yo, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? It's still daylight where you are?
Yeah, I'm over in Hawaii.
Oh, wow. Welcome. Okay, go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say.
Um, Everybody thinks that Trump is just crazy. He says a bunch of nonsense, and there, there's indications that there's a method to his madness. One of those, what's the short-haired lady's name from Shark Tank? She is,
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. So somebody interviewed her once and asked, what does she think about Trump and such? And she brought up a story from a while back where she and Trump were going to speak to these, I think they were Chinese developers or Chinese these foreign investors that were coming to buy a building. And it was the building that she was actually selling. She made all of her money in real estate. So so Trump is there with these investors, and she's there with the intent of pitching the building so that they would buy it. And she said the entire time, all Trump did was talk about the skyline of New York and all of these things. It spoke about everything but the building. And she was absolutely dumbfounded. But what happened is that these Chinese people not only bought the building, but they bought up tons of land across the New York skyline and began developing it. So he sees things in a way that, I don't know, some people are abstract thinkers. Some people think very narrowly and they can focus on one thing at a time. He's a business mogul. He's an entrepreneur. Lots of different ideas, different tactics, different approaches are going through his head at any time. There's a lot of people like that. I'm an abstract thinker. I see a lot of connections that other people don't see, but there's other people that have gifts that I don't have that I wish that I had.
I agree with that.
We all have we all have strengths and weaknesses. But with Venezuela, right? Maduro literally challenged him. I'm right here for you, Mr. Trump. Come and get me. And we got him in 40 minutes. And the horror stories that the soldiers spoke about afterwards was enough to wake everybody in the region up. And
are you ex-military? Are you in the military?
No, I have a military family. I didn't get in because I have ADHD and just before 9/11 they said no you can't because you have ADHD and so they said no, but then 9/11 happened and I had already gone on with my life, and then they came back to me and said, hey, do you want to? And I said, no, you guys missed that. I'm in my mid-20s now, and so anyways, that's another thing. But I am a military contractor.
Okay.
But so we go and capture Maduro, and what's the deal? The infrastructure in Venezuela is absolutely trashed. And everybody says, oh, well, what's in it? It's all about the oil. So what does he do? He works out a deal with Venezuela that they sell us their oil because we built all the derricks. I mean, we built their entire oil infrastructure and turned it over to them, and they ran it into the ground. But the money that they make from us buying oil from them, they have to buy our steel. Right. During Obama's term, I don't know if you remember Bashar al-Assad, or is that Bashar al-Assad? Yeah. With Syria, he was gassing his own citizens, and and everybody said, Obama, what's the red line? And he said, well, I think if they start gassing their own people,
You sound
then
just
that's
like
going to
him.
be, that's going to be a red line. And then he gassed the people, and he didn't do anything. And then he gassed them again, and he still didn't do anything. And then, so it's like, Trump goes in and drops just like a single bomb or a few bombs on these guys. And it was kind of like, sort of the old Viking way, just stop it. I'm just going to smack you and, go back home, teach you a quick lesson. And that's it. But
let me ask you this.
Sure.
What do you think about BB?
I liked him for a while.
What?
But no. Just hear me out.
Okay.
So I liked him for a while, and then I started to learn a lot of things about him. And so now I don't like him. I think at the end of the day, to them, they're the chosen ones, and be that as it may. Now, at the same time, I think because the left is so anti-Israel, and the right is so pro-Israel. The right is pro-Israel for religious purposes largely,
Right.
and the left, obviously, they're probably against Israel for those same religious purposes. But regardless, they are our kind of our one true ally over there. We've worked with them intimately for generations, and but I can promise you that there's news out right now that JFK, that Israel was tied to JFK. They were trying to get. There's a lot of stuff out there, but and it's a big rat's nest, and it's not worth going down and exploring like individual rabbit holes. But the more that you dig, the more you find out, and the more things sort of make sense. You're like, oh yeah, I heard this one thing this one time, and then I heard this other thing this other time, and now I hear this other thing. And, oh yeah, so that kind of connects everything. That kind of makes sense. Now you could say that a lot of it's coincidental, but the thing is that I think in politics, very little is actually coincidental. And I think Israel was involved in Charlie Kirk. Oh God, yeah. I mean, yeah. Charlie Kirk was very, he was really actually against like all of the the settlements and things like that, and just the sort of the dogmatic obedience to Israel. He didn't want Israel to bomb Iran, and so he was really against Israel and a lot of these things. But from what I understand, there were investors involved. Erica, his wife, I think, was kind of in that as well. She was involved. I don't know that for sure, but there's enough information out there that makes you raise an eyebrow. But from what I understand, there was some form of a meeting, and they had essentially asked Charlie to, cheer for them on their, kind of repeat their talking points, and he wouldn't go along with it. And the fact that he had 100 million youth across the country and grew his organization to the point that it was, he had a lot of power. And when he was going out and not carrying water for Israel, especially with the youth, because the youth are always sort of, everybody kind of starts on the left and they move to the right as they get older. I was the same way. But which, I mean, that leads into a whole different thing regarding voting and who should vote and whatever. We've got but anyways, regarding Trump, I haven't spent a lot of time really digging into how exactly Israel got us involved, but from what I understand, I think kind of the open secret is that Israel has a nuke or has nukes.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, they're just not saying. It's kind of like Delta Force, right? They're not. I cannot confirm nor deny their existence, but
Right.
everybody knows. And so anyways, from what I heard, the Bibi basically said, if you don't do something, we're gonna nuke them. And so that's basically how we got.
Okay.
That's essentially how we got drug into it. So it's kind of like the lesser of two evils. Either Israel, solos the attack, in which Iran is a much bigger country and has a much bigger military, even though Israel is very capable. But if Israel gets into a conflict, then we all have to get into a conflict, because that's how it goes all the time for whatever reason. But anyway, go ahead.
What you think about NATO?
God, I try not to.
Why? I like those guys.
Europe is doing stuff that is completely antithetical to its entire history, and its culture, just the same way as it's happening here, right?
Got you.
You can't just flood a region with people from a completely different culture whose beliefs, customs, traditions are completely antithetical to your own, and not only antithetical, they flat out contradict, or they contradict. They're antithetical to your beliefs and the way that you the culture, customs, and ways of your community, right? When, like, England now, the UK has, and also in Paris, there are Sharia courts that Muslims handle their legal matters outside of that. You have a very paternalistic, or I'm sorry, not paternal, maternalistic
I was gonna say,
society.
what?
Yeah, we have a very maternalistic society where, well, if we're nice to them, they'll stop. It's like my
Yeah, they
mom
do
growing
think
up.
like that.
Yeah, and our politicians our politicians do the same. Well, why the hell did we give $150 billion to Iran, or Iran is the correct way to say it, Iran, to for releasing sanctions and giving them their money back,
That was
and
insane, yo.
then and then going into an agreement with them to to give them a 10-year track to build nukes. Okay, we're gonna let you refine your own nuclear materials. You can enrich your own uranium, but you can't make a bomb for 10 years. It's like, what? And then on top of that, it's okay. Well, yes, they will agree, and because, to the best of my knowledge, lying in the name of advancing Islam is allowed, but that's the only case that it's allowed.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and I'm not like a Quran scholar. I can't name you the surah, chapter, verse, whatever. But it's come up enough times that it's probably more true than not.
Right.
And I have a bunch of military friends where, when they were serving over there and they have an informant, or they're trying to negotiate with a guy, everything is inshallah, right? Everything is God's will.
Right.
If they agree, and if they agree to something and it works out, inshallah. If they agree to something and it doesn't work out, inshallah.
Mm.
It's just, well, hey, sorry, I guess it's God's will. Didn't work out. Sorry, it's God's will, So, but it's getting to the point now in the UK where what they're doing is there was a newspaper article or a news article recently. Newspaper, geez, I'm old. There was a news article
Oh,
recently that they're looking at. The British government is planning to ban 67 different breeds of dogs, and
what?
yeah, from a place that has Westminster, right? The Westminster Dog Show.
Yeah.
So 67 different breeds of dogs. And they say that, well, it's for health reasons, and there's dogs that have been selectively bred to have different features that is not, conducive, or it's not healthy, nor is it the standard, the original standard and such, right? So they make up these excuses. Well, I mean, and it's things like, it's like pugs, corgis, Frenchies. I mean, like literally any dog that you can think of, it's on the list, right?
That's
Um,
insane.
well, because dogs are dirty. Dogs are considered filthy animals to Muslims. There's neighborhoods that you can't bring a dog to in the
Hold on, I
UK.
gotta change this. Go ahead. I'm
Sure.
listening. I'm listening
So
still. My wire reaches it. Go ahead.
no, it's okay. There are, and then what they're doing is they're building up all these mosques
Mhm.
around London and the different districts and cities, and then they're building these mosques, and they have a rule that for religious purposes there can't be a pub near their mosque, and I don't know what the distance is or anything like that. And so then what they're saying is that it's now illegal to have a pub next to a mosque. There was a clip that I saw today where a guy he was obviously Muslim, and he was in the UK, and he was filming a bunch of guys standing at a pub that's right next to a mosque, and he was saying that it was illegal. Now, a lot of people say that things are illegal that actually aren't, and so so a lot of people don't know the laws, but it's like, yeah,
Right.
it's a slippery slope. That's kind of the direction that we're going. You know,
Wow.
everybody talks about how terrible and oppressive Russia is, and they jail political opposition and things like that. But when you look at social media, it's like, and I don't remember the year, but this was a quote. Maybe last year, I think it was either last year or the year before. There was something like 20 people or something that were jailed for things that they said on social media, right?
Yeah, I could
For
believe
their
that.
for their for their comments,
Definitely.
right? But in the UK, it's something like 3,500 people were jailed for what they said on social media.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
like
So
being arrested for
yeah,
street walking here.
I mean, I mean, it would be something, and the most egregious of the offenses were like, a woman that, they're talking about raising taxes or something, and and she would post something along the lines of, we shouldn't be giving our tax dollars to non-British people, or something like that. Or I think there was there was a woman, whose daughter was SA'd by a group of these guys, and she posted, she vented a little bit. I mean, nothing too crazy, but she vented a little bit on social media, and she was arrested for posting offensive content.
Was this recently?
I mean, this has been happening, so
I thought I heard a
it's
story like this. That
yeah, it's pretty common. There was a German girl, and this is a number of years ago. This is probably like, I think, 5 years ago. I remember, and this is when it really started to kind of set me off. But there was I think she was a 16-year-old German girl, that she was in a bikini sunbathing on her front porch, and some Muslim guys came by and attacked her, and they were let go because their defense is that that if she didn't want it to, if she wasn't asking for it, then she wouldn't have dressed like that and in public. So it's a lot of victim blaming in
Yeah,
that
they're
in that
very
department.
strict about, you know what I mean?
Right.
Let
And
me ask you this.
sure.
Let me ask you this, because I'm at the 2-hour mark.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you
Yeah.
believe that we could cut a deal?
With who? With Iran?
Yes.
Oh, we can cut deals with anybody. Everybody's talking about the sanctions that we just lifted or eased on Russia, and they're saying,
That was
look at
crazy.
how, yeah. But here's the thing, is that if you remember when Trump, first term Trump, was standing in front of the UN and said, "You guys, you're too dependent on Russian oil, and it's going to come back and bite you. You guys need to
Yeah,
start investing in your own energy production and
I
your own oil
remember that.
production. You got to think." And what happened? They all laughed at him. Every one of them. They all sat there and laughed at him. Look at this old idiot. Article 25. Let's do it. Like, 25th Amendment. So everybody's just laughing at him because they pretend as though he doesn't know what he's talking about. But this is a guy who's been doing international business for 50 years.
Well, let me
It's
ask
like
you this. Wait,
he can cut a
because
deal.
somebody said a deal can be made, but can it be maintained is the question.
So when we first went with what was it? Gosh, last year sometime. Maybe I'm even thinking the first term, but I think it was it wasn't too long ago, where we went and we threw a couple of bunker busters, the deep penetrating missiles into Iran's one of their nuclear facilities, right? And this was sometime last year. And then what happened? We were attacked back, right? Iran retaliated. Well, Iran called and told them that they have to, because they've got to show face to their people and not look like cowards. And so it's basically, do you got like an old building or something, or is there like, can you guys just move all of your stuff off the runway, and and then we can do that? And so it's like, and that's what happened. Like, I think they hit a porta potty and a bicycle. And then everybody, and then the liberal news is losing their mind and saying, "Oh my God, Iran attacked." But it's like, for instance, this school that was hit, right?
Wait, hold on, really quick. Let me say this.
Sure.
Please, y'all, can y'all please hit the like? I got 68 likes. Can y'all get me to 100 likes? Come on, y'all. Please. And misspell the curse words. You could say what you want to say, just don't misspell the words. Okay, good. What were you going to say?
It's the reality is that we're making a lot more progress than the media is actually letting on. Because they get hyper focused and they spin stories, like, for instance, this school for girls, or I don't know
I'm
if it
mad
was a school
about
for girls.
that. I'm mad.
Well, but let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you mad about that?
Because they claim it was a mistake, and it's like, come on.
Three bombs hitting the exact same target.
They did not tell the truth. We did not tell the truth about that. That is considered a war crime.
Well, let me ask you a question. What time of day was that school attacked?
I'm not sure.
10 a.m.
Oh yeah, it had to be during while they were in school. Yes, most definitely.
Yep. And 5 out of 7 times you would be right. But it happened on a Saturday at 10 a.m. And a quick 2-minute search on what days are there school in Iran, Sunday to Thursday.
It could have been anything. It could have been in the schools, hospitals. That's off limit. I don't care.
Well, but herein lies the problem, right? So the Geneva Convention says that all of these places are off limits, and then what happens is sure, but the thing is well, these are essentially no target zones, no target buildings, right? Mm-hmm. So if I go and put it, if I go and and put the Tehran Leering Center sign over the door of my, of my bomb making shop. Is that now a school? Or if I put a cross over, well, I wouldn't be a cross, but it would be the star and sickle, or star and crescent rather. That's communism. But if I put it, an Islamic sign over something. Now, in this case, it was 100% a school. Nobody's
Oh,
doubting
wait,
that.
hold
Nobody's.
on.
Yep.
Somebody that's Muslims in here. She
Sure.
said,
Sure.
or it might Tariq, it might be a guy. They are off on
That's a guy.
Fridays as Muslims. They go to school on Saturday.
He's going to have to look and find out what days they go to school. What is the regular school schedule? Sunday, it's Sunday to Thursday. If they're there on if they're there on Saturday, and it would have to be very new news that people, because that's oftentimes what happens is that people will take edge cases and say that's normal. Well, if there's an event, they're there on Saturdays.
Don't make no excuses. Don't make.
I'm not making any. I'm not making any excuses.
It was a double tap strike. Somebody said. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Beautiful, but here's the thing: is that if you look at Hamas. Hamas has tunnels throughout Gaza.
That's what somebody said.
Yeah, there's 300 kilometers of tunnels in Gaza, underneath Gaza, and all of the aid money that Hamas gets, they use that money, and instead of buying food and supplies and things like that, they buy bombs, and then they pay these kids $100 a day to dig tunnels. Like that's the literal, that's actually an industry for children to make money and for people to make money is digging tunnels for Hamas.
Hold on, stop. Let's stop. I gotta stop you.
Yep.
Somebody said
Okay.
I'm Muslim too, and we don't go to school on Sunday.
No, I didn't say. Well, okay. But this is in Tehran, and this is information that came from the APA.
You said
the Associated Press. So if I don't know where, I know Christians that go to school, it depends on the school, depends on the I guess the level of belief. There's some people that take Saturdays off, some groups worship on Saturday, some on Sunday. There's all kinds of different things. But in Tehran, school is Sunday to Thursday. And you just got to look it up. When is their school in Tehran?
Okay.
But sure. So
I'm gonna stop that question. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
You can
sure.
finish it out. We're gonna stop it,
Right,
but
right.
I'm gonna look this up, and
Yeah.
next live stream you're gonna have to come back.
Beautiful.
You got
beautiful.
to.
Oh,
Okay, let's go.
I'd be happy to. So now that they know that these are, that we have a covenant with the international community, with this Geneva Convention and such, that we will not attack churches, schools,
Right.
hospitals, things like that, right? So then what do? They put all of their weapons and their bombs and their guns and all of their munitions inside of schools and
Let's
inside of
stop.
churches and inside
Let
of
me stop
hospitals.
this. Let me
Sure.
stop this real quick because Israel, okay, was just popped for doing that. Israel was popped for doing that, not Iran, but Israel. They were just popped for doing that.
I am not saying that Israel is innocent at all by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
But what we have learned throughout since October 7th, a couple of years ago, and probably even before then, that because they know that these are forbidden targets, this is the opportune place to put their targets. And then on top of that, there's all put their munitions. And then on top of that, yeah, they are hospitals, they are schools, they are churches where regular people are either learning things and going to school, they are worshiping, they are they're sick and they're being treated. And so then what happens is then when you bomb a place like that, the media is on their side because it makes them look humane.
But here's the thing: we
Or
lied about it.
it makes them look inhumane.
We lied. We lied. We lied. If they would
Yeah,
have came straight with the truth, guess what? Mistakes happen in war. It happens all the
Yep.
time. But the simple fact that we came and we lied, flat out lied, I don't
Yep.
like that.
Nope.
That's the
And there's no reason that you should. And I'm not going to make excuses for our side. I think it was probably I think it was
intel
probably like a
bad.
yeah.
Maps,
I mean,
bad maps.
yeah, Robert Mueller, the same guy that everybody was hoping would get Trump on the Russian collusion, is the exact same Robert Mueller that told Bush about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Same guy. So people are people, right? And so, but so shit happens, and why that was a target. I'm sure it was, like somebody called in and said it was a double tap, right? So
Yeah.
it was pretty intentional, right? And so maybe they wanted to find out who exactly the people were that were there before they said anything, because still to this day, well, and I haven't gone back and looked, but I do remember that for the first 2 weeks afterwards, all it said was, well, it started with 50 victims, and then it started with 200 victims, and then it went up to like 200 and something victims, but it never said that they were actual children. There were people, there was news media that was inferring that it was children, but the actual
Right.
reports did not say who it was. It just said people. There were 200 and some odd dead. Okay, great. I mean, well, who is that? Well, it's a school, so it's obviously children, but is it though? Is it? So anyways, I digress. But
Wait, hold on. Somebody said,
sure.
can you ask if he was military background? I asked him in the beginning,
Yeah.
and he said no.
Well,
Remember, he said he got military family.
I've got military in the family. Yeah. High up military too at that. But
Are you MAGA?
I don't like that term.
You want to be
No.
Republican?
I'm yeah. Well, I'm conservative because I don't like I don't like Republicans because I mean it's a fragmented group. And I think what the left does is just likes to call everybody who doesn't believe what they say, but believe what they believe, they're MAGA. If I support conservatism, if I'm a Christian and I believe in strong borders, oh, you're a sick MAGA person. I don't worship Trump. I worship God, right? And so you shall put no idols before me.
I hope so, man.
Right? Amen. So I don't worship Trump, but if somebody is going to get me to believe, if somebody's going to try to make me believe that Kamala Harris, the absolute dumpster fire of a politician, who just doesn't know basic things about how the government works, how the economy works, and such, and then on the coattails of Biden, who had run 2 times before and never got a single delegate, but now this time he suddenly gets 20 million people, 22 million more voters than Obama did in 2008. Like, really? But anyways, that's beside the point. But Kamala comes in there and, everybody says, oh, she's it. She's the queen, whatever. It's like, but
no, everybody didn't say
the
that.
left. Yeah. Well,
everybody
a lot of people.
Yeah, I had to
right.
pick the lesser two evils. I'm just going to keep it a beam. I don't like
Sure.
some policies they put in place years ago. So you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
I look at it. I think like this, right? When you watch, pick a superhero movie, right? Batman, sure, right? Superman's an illegal alien, right? But we'll say, like any of these, right?
Yeah.
Who's the good guy and who's the bad guy? Who is it that we're cheering for?
Batman and Robin.
Right? But who are they? What do they represent? And what
Yeah,
are they
I get
trying
what
to?
you're saying.
What is it that they're trying to stop?
The bad guy.
And what is the bad guy doing?
The bad guy could
He's
be doing a lot of things.
right. So the bad guy is always trying to create chaos and change. He's always trying to disrupt the system and make it chaotic, and in hopes that he can, with the expectation that he will rule over the ashes. Meanwhile, the hero is always trying to maintain tradition and and keep things the way that they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is always trying to so the good guy is always trying to preserve society as it is. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But then we see the left that is on this breakneck speed trying to change everything, right? And
Yeah.
everything has to change. We have to disrupt it, and we have to do this and that. So we've got the left, which honestly, and I hate to say it, I think the left gave up on blacks. I hate to say it. I think they just
What?
the left cashed in their chips on the blacks and said, we've lost them. They figured out that we don't do anything for them, and we just need their vote, and not enough of them vote in even in midterms to even make a difference. And they are aborting their children at a rate that they can't
Hey,
get above
wait.
13%.
Wait, I
And
gotta
so
say this.
what do we do with that? Well,
I gotta say this. Somebody said this guy can sell ice to Eskimos. We gotta wrap this up. It's almost
yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Yeah. Okay.
two and a half hours.
So anyways, so the left, like they went from the pre JFK and pre LBJ. It's this Jim Crow and all of that, and then afterwards it's well, okay, well, now you can vote. So we need you. Hey, we're your friend. We're your buddy. We're your friend, right? And then they figure out that just heavily inconsistent voting. And with Obama, that was the highest percentage of black voter turnout in history,
You
and
better
as well
say
as
it. We
and
showed up and
it
showed
was.
out.
Yep, that's 100%. But every time after that, see, Obama doesn't have, but nobody else has the charisma that Obama did. Obama went and put together a coalition of disparate voters that felt disenfranchised, and he put them together under one big tent and said, "You guys vote for me," and that's what happened. And then so many conservatives, because they wanted to be a part of it, and as did I in 2008. And it was like, oh, we get to be a part of history. So boom, here we go. And then what did he do? He expanded the war from 2 countries to 9 countries. He bombed 26,000 bombs a year in throughout the Middle East. Wow.
He got
It's just,
Osama bin Laden. That's all I'm gonna say. And guess who lied and tried to claim that he got Osama? Daggone Trump with the delusions. But we gotta cut it short. We gotta cut it short.
Okay. Anyways, you are great. And but anyways, just to put a button on that, I think that's why they're letting in all these people, because they need new future voters, because Hispanics are loyal voters. I mean, they've done studies on this. They are loyal, and they actually turn out. So it's kind of this weird place where they just they turn out at higher numbers than
But now
others.
they're having buyer's remorse. They having buyer's remorse. But we'll talk. Make sure you come. I'm going live tomorrow, so come back.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
What's your name? What you want me to call you?
I'm the armchair conservative.
All right, armchair conservative. Shouts out to Arm. I'm happy you came up. Make sure you come back tomorrow, because I will be on.
All right. From what time to what time, and what time zone?
East Coast time. I come on around 10:40
p.m.
Yeah, p.m. for sure.
Okay.
Come back. Subscribe.
All right. I did.
Oh, cool. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
All right, for sure.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good night.
You too.
All right. God
Bye-bye.
bless.
God bless. Yo, that was fun. Listen, anybody could come up here. I'm open to listen. We might not agree on everything, but as adults, we could agree to disagree, right? Right. So you said, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch at least one narrative. That was a lot. It was a lot. He gave a lot. So, but gang, it is going on. It's after 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. Make sure y'all subscribe. Like I said, I started this and I'm gonna finish it. You know, I'm not waiting on no appeal or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I was doing, trying to wait out to see if they was going to give me my monetization back. So I was just like, I got an audience. What I'm going to do is I'm going to promote my Cash App and y'all hit the likes, and I'm cool with that. It was great chatting with you too. I got to do what I got to do. I got an audience. I can't wait on an appeal. So it is what it is. And like I said, I started these talks. I'm going to finish it. I'm not letting nothing define who I am. I'm sorry. I would have loved to check every month, but it is what it is. I'm going to keep creating content. Y'all hear me? So keep y'all notifications on. Yeah. Shots out. That was dope. That was dope. I love talking to different people, getting their input. Sometimes it can change my whole perspective on things, you know? The last time I had somebody up here, it was somebody from the Middle East, and they were telling us why they love Trump so much. And I let him say what he had to say. You know? He allowed to love Trump. So I remember where I was when I first heard Armchair speak. You heard him speak before? Where? Let me find out. Had a great time. When though I came in late. Oh, who cares about you coming in late as long as you was here? Get your ice ready for your next encounter. I'm ready. I don't care. Anybody can hit this link. You know? Just as long as you're not disrespectful or trying to P-bomb me or some crazy stuff like that. But Diamond Gang, thank you. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be back. That was the longest 4 days ever. So, like I said, I ain't going to worry about it. I'm going to keep pushing. So, keep y'all notifications on, and I will see y'all tomorrow night. Good night, everybody. Shouts out to my beautiful mods.
It's your under degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling his tea, spilling and sipping his tea, spilling and sipping his tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite. Elevation under the breeze, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea.